Morning, officer.
Maybe this is the pot calling the kettle black. This guy thinks he's a genius and he's a moron.
Oh, this is live.
Think of like the dumbest cave troll let you know.
You looked right at me when you said that.
You're not the dumbest.
Here are the facts as I see them.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bandit Radio Hour. It's November 20th. So, yeah, that's actually right. November 20th. We're delayed a little bit. We're behind. We apologize for that, but it has been hell on the ranch, working every group of cows we have. Sometimes just me and one guy doing up to like 150 by ourselves. Other times, like yesterday, getting help from friends like my producer Merce, who's here. Sound off.
It's the least I can do. It's not much, but it's honest work.
He kept him pushed up, and it made everything go so much faster. So much faster. And my brother and some other people, they're not here. They helped with the cows. Yeah, we're here. We're finally recording. We're going to pump out this episode and try to get y'all even a bonus episode this week to make up for lost
A
time.
lot of pumping.
We pump. Not iron, but other things. I just made it gay. Damn it. Anyways.
Yeah, that's what did it.
Yeah, absolutely. So nothing really big's happened in the past 2 weeks. Like, it's been...
It's all quiet on the Western Front.
we sound off a little bit. The world continues on like normal. There's no exponentially great changes like a new CEO of the world's largest media company that is... How did he even... I'm talking about Elon Musk. I'm trying to be witty about it. It's not coming off so great. But...
It's like John Fetterman trying to explain it.
We'll get to him. we'll get to that silver lining at the end of that cloud. But no, here we are. We're going to cover all this crazy shit going on. From Elon Musk getting Twitter to the elections to Ukraine playing oopsie daisies and the media picking up after it.
Yeah, I like how they just got like a pass.
We'll get to that. We got a lot to cover, but
Ukraine has the white privilege.
Dude, they don't have white privilege. They legitimately have Nazi privilege.
Diplomatic immunity.
Like, oh, dude, it's beyond that.
Crypto's crashed.
Yeah, so, nothing big. Continue on as usual. We're going to keep taking breaks from episodes and see what happens. Just kidding. Please keep listening. We need y'all to.
I think things get worse when we're not here.
Yeah. But we're going to start off like we normally do. Merce, what's been the big developments in the Stronghold bunker in Southwest Florida?
I bought a lawnmower.
He did buy a lawnmower, a nice one.
But that's been my highlight.
Yeah. Now, hang on. You really made it sound polished. You used lawnmower?
Yes.
But what brand?
Husqvarna.
Those two things perfectly balance each other out.
Yeah.
And old man owner and all that, so good on you.
I didn't until this podcast takes off. There ain't no buying no brand new ones.
No. We got an American Eagle that's like 10 years old that I got to inflate the tires and mess with every time, and I could go get new tires, but there's not.
Prior to this mower, I had a cow.
There's no time. Goats though, amazing at lawn maintenance.
And everything else.
Yes.
Grass, shrubberies.
Cans, wire. But don't feed them wire. That's bad. Don't do that. So like aside from probably working harder than I have in a very long time, it seemed like a lot of the time, so my son's up north, I got my daughter, kind of put her on the back burner. Like I had to with the ranch stuff going on. Like still,
metaphorically correct.
Yes, yeah, no, not literally. Damn, what child? Moving on.
I'm asking for the child's safety. Don't make me the bad guy here.
All right, spear practice, earlier episodes. But anyways, I asked some people on Twitter, because like me and my daughter try to have a movie night like once a week. What's some like good classic horror movie recommendations? And what, Merce, you shot at me, Ghostbusters. And I think I saw Ghostbusters when I was too young. You know what I mean? Not like it scared me or anything. I was too young to appreciate it. Do you
remember the animated series that came out when we were younger?
Extreme Ghostbusters?
I don't know what it was. I just remember it was animated.
Was it the same? Was it like Bill Murray and them, or was it a new gang of people?
I think it was a newer gang of people.
Yes, I loved it. I was addicted to that. I think it came on before school started.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those, if you woke up early enough, you could catch it.
Like Garfield.
Shut up. No. We're not visiting
Oh,
that
I
barn.
forgot
yet.
about the egg.
Yeah, no, don't. Damn you, Sheldon. Sheldon's always been a shit name for that. Big Bang Theory. Wasn't that guy's name Sheldon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you might be onto something.
Unless one of our listeners are named Sheldon. You're the
Screw you
exception.
too.
No, shut up. We need them. We need them desperately. Not desperately, just need them.
As we're going way off track,
I undersold.
Grizzly Don Bauer chimed in Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the.
Dude, all right. I watched that. I remember my friend who lived in like the closest neighborhood. Well, it was Doobie.
Okay.
Yep. He came over, and we had to be like 9 years old, and we watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the one from the 70s, and
I can say I've never seen any of them because I don't like scary.
dude, at 8 years old, maybe I was too young to conceptually understand like everything I was seeing. Like maybe there was just a lot of stuff right over my head, but it didn't scare me. I found myself bored with it. Ghostbusters, I felt like I watched that at too young of an age, and I didn't want to watch it when I got older because I'd already seen it.
I think if I remember correctly, I watched the cartoon before I saw the movie, so then I was all confused. I was like, wait, so the little green ghost isn't their best friend?
No, they're trying to throw him in ghost hell as hard as they
Yeah,
can.
because like the animation logo looks so fun and cartoony. I was like, this is not what this is about at all.
You know, it wasn't until like I was until I started dicking around on MySpace or something like that. I'd come across one of those lists, and it was like things you didn't know about movies, and it's like the Ghostbusters is a giant anti-government message, and I'm like, ooh, what? And the whole
So you're saying everything starts with MySpace?
in our generation. I'm not saying it's a perfect rule. It's a pretty good one though.
What's scary is knowing my MySpace is still out there somewhere.
I'm pretty sure mine is too, and I'm almost certain it has little reigning Jack Daniels images. Remember, you could edit your page to make.
I'm hoping mine was Florida Gators still, but God knows what song I probably had going that was what I was ever dealing with at the time.
Probably Hicktown or something like that. Very mainstream.
I think it might have been Skid Row.
I think I had Blake Shelton on mine, Old Red. That's about when I dropped off of MySpace. I can remember
because I typed in myspace.com. It still exists.
Yeah,
like
they tried rebranding it as a music thing, but
yeah, Justin Timberlake bought it, and I don't know if it went anywhere.
Yeah, I hope it went better than his acting does. Not a good actor. He's Justin Timberlake in every movie.
Yeah.
But anyways, what the hell was it? Oh, movie me and my daughter watched. Yeah. So we ended up watching the perfect one, Poltergeist. And I really think, like, we joke about me not really digging clowns because of Killer Clowns from Outer Space and that ungodly abomination of a movie. But that damn clown in the Poltergeist. Did you ever watch Poltergeist?
No.
Oh, dude, there's a toy.
I know the main references, and then the majority of what I know from Poltergeist is, like I said, is when Family Guy spoofs it.
Well, yes. Honestly, Family Guy and stuff like that, spoofing things, how I know most of that generation of movies. Like, I never saw Close Encounters of the Third Kind, but
the Family Guy's like my spark notes on those things.
It's good spark note. What if that's the purpose of Family Guy? Comedic spark
We got
notes.
some other ones. I'm not going to cut you off. Friday the 13th, Spawn, or some other ones coming.
Well,
through.
here's the thing with my 8-year-old daughter. I'm pretty sure Friday the 13th shows titties.
She has boobs, but yeah, I get it.
No, she's 8. But no, she's like, all right, man.
So that's where you draw the line is at nudity, but not like graphic murder.
Well, I think there's like sex and stuff in it.
Oh,
like I think like it's because he's the killer. How Jason dies in the water is the camp counselors, instead of watching him, go off and screw.
I never saw Friday the 13th either.
Because God, you neglected childhood.
I don't like scary.
Yeah, true.
I remember wanting to go to the movies to see Freddy versus Jason and was not allowed. I think I had a date to see it and was still not allowed to go.
We were like early high school when that movie came out, right?
Yeah.
That was one of the first big movies I was really hyped for and was severely underwhelmed.
Yeah.
Because Friday the 13th scared me. Nightmare on Elm Street scared me. Those two together, it's got to be, and it was like more of a funny movie. And I was like, I don't like it. But no, my daughter was mostly unfazed by Poltergeist.
She liked it though?
She liked it. Yeah. She really liked it. She thought Signs was scarier.
Signs did scare me.
Dude, with the aliens.
Yeah,
and
I watched it I think it was Me and a bunch of buddies all like we watched it and stayed up, and then I think everybody else went to sleep, but not me. I stayed up all night watching. I remember how graphic it scared me until like Mickey Mouse Club came on like the TV like that late at night. I was like, I'm not going to sleep.
He did such a good job of your eyes trying to find like what the scary thing is, and you know something's wrong, but you can't recognize it. Like when the little girl goes, "There's a monster outside my room," and he's like, "I'll go look," and you look and look, a shadow steps away from the chimney.
Kind of like why like Jaws is so scary. It's like it's the not seeing it.
Yes,
it's terrifying,
and your brain trying to figure out what the hell it is. But what I'm waiting for, and she's not old enough yet. Since Merce doesn't like scary, we might have to like one day do like a live watching of The Thing. It's so good.
I googled the whole plot.
It's so good. Even like the fact they do that with no computers, and it's just puppets that a guy exploding in half into jaws and biting another guy, like. Oh, I can't wait to scare the shit out of both of my kids with it, especially my son. Let me tell you this: my son talks a big game. I think I talked about it in one of the earlier episodes. He watches YouTube and he knows like the plots of all these movies and like kind of ruins them for himself. I'm like, oh, wait till you watch them and you get terrified, you little ass.
Yeah, no, that's me. Like like a scary movie comes out, I was like, I'm gonna Google what happened so I don't have to sit through the whole thing.
We would try to play Call of Duty Zombies when we were younger, and we could count on Merce to just run the hell away.
I'm there with everybody until somebody goes down, and then like once the line breaks, like I'm gone.
Hey, so you watch Signs with your friends for the first time, right?
Right.
The first time, this is one of like those very vivid early life memories I got. We were visiting my brother in West Palm Beach in the city. And they had like a really big, nice theater, like looked like a palace, part of the shopping district thing. And we go there to watch Signs. And it's like one of the first theaters I at least noticed that has like, you know, you walk down the long alley to get in and you turn the corner and then you look at all the seats. And nowadays there's like those handicap seats right in front of you for people to put their wheelchairs and some seats next to them. Well, we were in the row behind the handicap spaces. So, like, free leg room, pretty much. There was nobody there in wheelchairs or anything. And we're at the part in the movie, I don't know if how good you remember it, but Jacqueline Phoenix is watching the TV, and they're like, we're getting first sightings of these aliens.
Is that where, like, but the video's at a children's party?
At a children's birthday party,
It comes out of the bushes?
It comes out of the bushes. Dude, when he's telling the kids to move, I remember going like, I have got to take a piss, like really bad. I'm going to go take a piss and be right back. Well, I could either walk down the aisle and like interrupt everybody's moment, or I can just like duck underneath these little handicap bars in front of me. And as I do that, Josh's notable encounter with ghetto black women #2 happens. I think this is post-cigarette at KFC. There is, God bless her soul, and I am sorry for what happened. But there's this fat, like, real ghetto black lady sitting in front of me. And as I stoop down under the bar and, like, dip in front of her, the thing comes where you see the alien. Dude, popcorn flies. They freak out. And I haul ass to the bathroom and pee. It was rough.
Did you pee before you got to the bathroom?
A little bit. Like, I'm pretty sure I left a solid trail. It's always like in those moments of I'm not going to get too graphic with it, but
I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever seen a scary movie in the theaters.
You poor neglected.
They've basically been the results of like dates or like girls wanting to watch it. Like, but it's not. I've not been like, yes, I'm voluntarily going to pay to be scared.
Oh, watching them in the theater is great because that's 10 times. But I can't remember the last time
they turned the lights off.
Yeah, I know it's better. One of the last movies I watched, they had some gimmick where they showed, like, you know, how you got the screen in front of you. But this one had, like, going down the walls, like, extra screen.
Like the IMAX?
It wasn't IMAX, but it was like someone ripping off IMAX trying to, but...
JMax.
That might have been the name of it. Patent pending. But anyways, I did not like that gimmicky thing. I'd like to watch a horror movie in there, though. But, so yeah, Poltergeist, me and my daughter started watching Futurama from the beginning, and it is like reminding me why it's the greatest show of all time.
Well, it's perfect timing too because they're bringing back Futurama to like start making a new season.
For like the 5th time.
Yeah, because I think it's like a new generation watches it and like, this is so great. Why did they stop?
It's so, like, dude, we just got done. I think it's the 2nd episode where they go to the moon, and you miss so much stuff as a kid that you go back and rewatch as an adult. Like, I love the fact the only people that live on the moon have rebel flag hats that say
They're
like
the Hicks that live out in
the moon will rise again. It's great. Like, it's solid. But besides that, the only other like outside of work entertainment stuff I've done recently is watched so many different kinds of firestorms on Twitter, and that has been fun.
Oh, it's just like there's no rules anymore. It's great.
Did I share with you what happened to Count Dankula?
Oh, is this where he changed his name and it went horribly wrong?
It locked in. So for those of you that like don't know, you should really check him out. A guy named Count Dankula. It's one of the dumbest names ever, but he owns it as it being dumb.
Well, he managed to make it dumber.
When Elon Musk took over Twitter, did the $8 check mark, this guy had a check mark before that being verified, and he started like playingly changing his name. Like at first he changed it to the real Donald Trump because it had a blue check mark and it looked like Donald Trump tweeting for a day just to have fun and joke around. Then Elon came out with a new rule. Hey, no impersonations unless it's like you put parody next to it. So just on a whim, Count Dankula can't recommend his YouTube channel enough for any historical or anything like that. Like, it's great. As a joke, and because he has like the humor of a 12-year-old, he changed his name to Giant Penis Parody. And when he went to change it, Elon Musk made a new rule that if you've changed your name in the past, like twice in the past 2 weeks, you cannot change your name for 30 days.
Or an official accounts couldn't either. Or
Yeah.
something like that.
So this dude is stuck with a cropped photo of Donald Trump and on a bodybuilder's body, like super flexing, and giant penis next to it. And all it's been, and this guy has quite a bit of a following. Every time Elon makes a new rule, it's this poor Scottish bastard just saying, like, please let me change my name. I won't do this
the one
again.
caption where it's like at Elon Musk. Like, I've made a huge mistake, but you just see his name beside it, and it makes it so great.
Him publicly begging Elon Musk to change it. He says he's lost followers and he's lost he's like, this is like ruining me. And he says, you know what I've learned? You know when you were younger and you would make funny faces and your grandmother would say, you better not make that face or it'll stay that way? He goes, this is the real life account of that.
It got stuck like that.
Yeah, and the dude makes his living off of somewhat of his image. So it's God bless him, and it's funny, but he has a series called Mad Lads on YouTube.
You've told me to listen to these
And
900 times, and I haven't even hit play once.
It's good people, bad people, everyone in between who's just like batshit crazy from history. And it's amazing listens. I think the last one was Lord Timothy Dexter, the guy that made money doing the dumbest investments ever.
Oh, you talked about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. The guy did everything from herding and selling cats to solve rat problems, to shipping coal to Keystone. Not Keystone, what the hell's...
Coal?
No, coal to Newport, which is like the coal capital of Britain.
Yeah.
He still made money that way. But anyways, I'll let him do it. Check him out. It's great. But yeah, everything else on Twitter that went hilariously crazy.
He's brought people back.
Oh, well, of course, the Don is back to catch everyone.
Well, he let the people decide that.
True.
And I like the fact that he's just like, I'm just gonna let this go. You got, it's up to you.
And I heard a rumor it was I don't know how verified this is, so take it with a grain of sand, but that was a trap for bots to see how many similar
Kept revoting and stuff.
Yeah, how many different like accounts linked to the same information was voting a certain way on that. But yep, Donald Trump is back on Twitter, but he hasn't tweeted anything.
Well, I think because he wants to stay on Truth Social, whatever
His platform.
Because I think if he goes back to Twitter, people won't be on his platform. So I think it's if you want to hear me, that was terrible. It's like, if you want to hear me, you got to be on my platform.
Well, the fact that he can come back into the conversation, and along with Jordan Peterson and all them, I think we're going to see. I'm sorry, Trumpers, don't throw too many stones. I think he's going to let a lot of people down. Because just how he's reading the room, and he's picking a fight with DeSantis, which...
I haven't heard his speech when he finally announced, but I saw like a lot of people saying good things. Like he didn't come, like when he finally announced that he was running, he didn't pick fights, and he stayed very lot closer to message.
Okay, I didn't...
But I don't know if that's him... But that might just be him reading the prepared speech, what they're telling him to, because we all know he's going to go off the rails.
The only thing I know, and sorry if I'm beating him with a bat, people, Donald Trump does have some good qualities that come with him. I'm not saying that. But like one of his things that I heard from the speech was he wants to wage the war on drugs harder and kill the drug dealers.
I mean, I feel like it's the only way you can win.
But like...
but that's not a fight worth fighting.
And I think it's... Don't get me wrong, I don't like drug dealers. I don't want them like right next to my house or anything like that. But just reading the room. Like I think it's something people... There's much bigger fish to fry than like if some junkie's killing themselves with drugs.
My take has always been we just find the purest forms of
Yeah.
all of it, and we just dump it on the street corner free. Anybody that's going to OD or just go after it's going to do it. If it's there readily available, the drug dealers are out of business.
And start a funeral parlor and you'll invest.
Yeah.
Boom. There you go. Booming economy.
Yeah.
Recession
We can
proof.
throw him right in there with the Green Power Ranger.
Yeah, he died. And I think I've visited the subject before, not the Green Power Ranger per se, but about how people talk about other people after they die and how there's supposed to be like this decorum of like, no, you don't talk bad about someone immediately after. You have to wait a certain time. But
gloves off.
This guy was the Green Ranger. If you don't know what happened, he killed himself. The guy that played the first Green Power Ranger. And, I watched that show growing up. It was very special to me. But the Red Ranger, Jason, was supposed to be the damn leader. And the Green Ranger, Wutmers, magically turned white, started playing a flute through his damn helmet that, as you pointed out...
But no, he showed up as the Green Ranger. He's like powerful than all of them, kicking everybody's butts. And you're just like, no.
He turns into the White Ranger.
Yeah, he's got nappy hippie hair. And you're like, no, get out of here.
No, clean-cut Jason was the leader. Yeah. No,
I was the Red Ranger for Halloween. Like, I wasn't going to take that.
No. It was ridiculous. So he killed himself, and I would like people to comment just whatever they felt about that particular person, because for me,
and like
he stole Jason's thunder. You don't do that to old Jason.
No, like it's sad that he was probably doing a lot of stuff in his personal life, like but no, like. Fuck you, Green Ranger.
And what were you saying? Like he kept trying to bring
I'd seen something a couple years ago that he was still trying to do a script, and I think he was trying to release a trailer like Power Ranger stuff, and I was like, buddy, let it go.
There's not y'all ain't Pokemon. There ain't even a leftover fan base to appeal to.
Yeah, like it was great. It was like a perfect show as a kid, but gotta let it.
I think it was like the third or fourth iteration of the Power Rangers called like Power Rangers Turbo or something like that, where they had cars. The only reason I know about it wasn't because I was watching it. One of my friends, Jose, his younger brother was watching it, who was like 4 or 5 years old. And that was one of the first things I realized. I was like, oh, this is to sell toys. I see it now because they got the cars in the show.
Oh,
and
I had the Power Ranger toys. I had the little belt buckle.
Oh, dude, I had chests full of toys. I love action figures.
Yeah.
Army men, not just green plastic army men, like camouflaged
like
with movable
G.I.
joints
Joe.
and not G.I. Joes. I had like an army of these like 3-inch dudes.
USA Bubba.
Might have been something like that, but it was neat. You had all like literally every role was accounted for, like grenadier, rifleman, sniper, general, like freaking army men. But anyways, this ain't the Toy Story hour. This is
I love
Toy Story.
I
That'd be a
love-
good name for a movie. Anyways.
I love My Army Men, and I always like go through like great like detail setting them up, and then you get done and be like, okay, now what? Like,
Yeah.
they're not gonna like it's the setting them up was the fun part, and then once they were there, you're like, oh.
Oh, see, these guys would come with like little motorcycles and stuff like that they could sit on and attach to, and like that.
I had like the legit like bucket and like little bunkers and little flags is all I had. So.
I'm surprised your family allowed you to have that.
I think I was probably told they were Nerf weapons.
there you go. They're all squirt guns, Travis. Go play.
They're sleeping.
But we got off on a sidetrack a little bit with Power Ranger and action figure talk. Very important talk, I might add.
The world needed it. The world needed that hard truth.
Man, this is when you take our talks like that away from the universe, we get these past 2 weeks unfolding. And I got off subject on Twitter, but I kind of wanted there was some stuff on that I wanted to hit. Of course, Donald Trump came back. Not only him, Babylon Bee, Jordan Peterson.
I do enjoy the Babylon Bee.
Dude, the Babylon Bee is a lot of, I don't know, how should I put it? I think most conservatives are just what I would call default conservatives. It's the way I grew up. It was the way I was raised. There doesn't need to be nothing different about that. And there we go. Typically, and I'm not like unifyingly, but the left seem to be a little bit more brainy and questioning things. But man, when you get a conservative that questions things really good, like the Babylon Bee, and can make humor out of it, they smash it out of the park. What, last week they put out Kanye West was obliterated by Jewish space lasers or something like that. Or maybe that was a couple weeks ago.
They're all good.
Yeah. Their meme game is out of this world. Project Veritas got reinstated as well.
Oh, here comes the boomer conspiracies.
Do you know Project Veritas?
A little bit. My
Yeah.
dad talks about it, so that's all I need to know.
Okay, well, I'll tell you this. How should I put it? They do exposés, like hidden cam footage on different groups. He made his bones by doing it to Acorn back in the day. Way, like,
Okay.
when Obama was getting elected. And I think he was before he was a senator, he was a community organizer for Acorn. And what James O'Keefe and Project Veritas did back then was go undercover as like a pimp with a hidden camera and be like, yo, I'm going to move some hose in here and help me get a house, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, I believe his coverage is very good and very important, but there's just this Sean Hannity-esque vibe to him of like, America's greatest and we don't need to change nothing because America's great. Trust your soldiers, CIA, all them. Like, maybe not quite that. I'm putting a little bit of words in his mouth, but that energy kind of comes off of him. However, I would put him up there, not as much as Donald Trump, but I would put him up there with like red pilling conservatives of like, hey, there is stuff going on where you don't need to just blindly trust these people.
But blind trust is what founded America.
There were some conservatives, dude, like, as much as I love Ron Paul, even after 9/11, he was like, all right, I guess the war in Afghanistan is okay because, everyone's going crazy right now.
But yeah, remember, he only knew,
It's his one blemish. He's human. He's not a god.
he's entitled to have one pimple.
Yes. God, was it? It's funny, like I was talking to a close family member about this the other day. When he looked back on certain, like, not even that big of historical events, but in my lifetime, I'm sure different ideologies could do this, but there's such a through line of like, well, I know you had a very sheltered childhood, but for me, like watching South Park and watching them make fun of both sides kind of opened me up a little bit to like, oh, there's might be a goofy thing or two that I believe that I don't think about. And that kind of led to when Ron Paul was this dude in a suit, as Dave Smith said, who wouldn't know the smell of marijuana smoke if he was around Cheech and Chong advocating like, no, you should be able to do whatever drugs you want. Just you pay for it, man. In his very Ron Paul-esque way, I'm like, and he's more anti-war than any hippie you've ever met. Like, I was like, oh, here's this more kind of a wedge opening in my mind. And dude, there's been so many things just along those lines. And I think as long as you keep kind of checking yourself and your core beliefs, helps out a lot.
So what you're saying is Ron Paul 2024.
Yes, dude. He's more coherent than Joe Biden. I can promise you that. Ron Paul's getting up there, but he still bikes like so many miles a day.
And he doesn't fall down. Joe Biden falls off his.
He did have a stroke on air. Did you see that?
No.
So, he does his like Ron Paul Liberty Report like every day. Like he still has a live show you can go watch, and I just don't.
I see that he still writes stuff too and puts stuff out.
Oh yeah, and
I picture him at like a typewriter.
No, like it kind of broke my heart because he's like talking just clear and fluid, and then he goes I, and his face kind of convulsed, and he's having a freaking stroke, and the next day, he made a full recovery pretty much within like a week, and he's back doing a show, but Michael Malice, one of the best online trolls in the world, said he was doing his best Joe Biden impression.
I was thinking that's going to add to his golf game. An extra stroke.
No, there you go. There's the pun of the night. So, yeah, the massive unbanning, and it seems like Musk is wanting to hit some stride like every week, review reasons people were banned, and try to unban them.
Well, I'm always... And you said Alex Jones isn't coming back, right?
What I told you off air was...
I know nothing about it other than you... And we didn't even finish that conversation.
No, we got cut off in between everything. But no, so that was one of the negatives. Like, I really have seen out of Elon Musk. And it is his company. And whatever. He can do what he wants. But someone asked him, like, I believe he posed the question, what should Twitter do next? And someone correctly answered back, unban Alex Jones. And Musk said no. And the guy kind of the guy in the reply went on a tirade of like, hey, I thought you were supposed to absolutionist when it comes to free speech, yada, yada, yada. How are you going to say that and still keep this guy banned? Twitter's going to turn into a nothingness if you keep those rules in. And Musk said, too bad. So, which is a very Musk response, like,
He's not someone you push into a corner.
No, yeah, he'll just say piss on your game, I win. I don't care my rules. However, like that left a sour taste in my mouth. However, coming to Elon Musk's defense was Alex Jones himself in a tweet I retweeted earlier today. Alex Jones pretty much does like a 2-minute explanation of one of the most coherent Alex Jones rants I've ever heard. He didn't just jump into... Dude, I heard one the other day where I'm not going to say half of the stuff, but he's like, they're doing bad things to kids, and they're trying to sleep with 5-year-olds, but the church is full of Pharisees, and they're getting mad at me talking about them sleeping with 5-year-olds or something. So I'm like, dude, what the hell is that? Anyways,
he's like just a living GIF and a meme and a soundbite all in one. I saw the one of him just like wrapping tinfoil around his head, and I'm like, you can't make this up anymore.
I don't know what's more brilliant, if this is an act he does, or if this is just naturally him, just kind of.
Could you imagine him as a child?
He's got like 2 kids.
Well, I get that, but could you imagine raising Alex Jones?
Dude, there's a couple of podcasts where he talks about it, where he's like, oh yeah, I got in a fight whenever I was like 12 years old when I was a linebacker, and some kid took a brick and hit me in the head, and I've had brain damage ever since. I'm like, I mean, yes, I same, but you don't just say that to everybody. Unless you do it like I did. But no, Alex Jones came to Elon's defense and was like, and correctly pointed out, like, just because he bought Twitter doesn't mean he doesn't have to deal with the powers that be, like other people keeping him in check, advertisers, terms and services for like app stores and stuff like that.
CBS had I think they're finally back now, but they'd stopped doing anything, updates, anything on their Twitter at all.
Is there still going to be a CBS when boomers go away?
I don't know.
Like, do you know anybody our age? I guess sports fans will still
do you know
watch.
anybody buying a newspaper? I don't buy a
They're gone.
The last newspaper I bought was one when I was flying, and like the little local newspaper taking like some photos of us, and I was in. So I bought like 20 papers for a nickel.
Outside the Peace River Shopper, I don't. Is that even still a thing?
I mean, I see the bins, but
I see homeless people trying to microwave food in them.
That's how they build their fires.
So, anyways, Alex Jones came to Elon Musk's defense. One of the other things, like Musk does have forces like against him in this. Like, if hypothetically, let's say he's not manipulating and lying and all this. Let's say he really believes what he's saying and he is a free speech absolutionist. You can't just hit it all at once. You have to deal with, like, because as we have found out, literally the White House and Congress are telling these companies, like, putting pressure on them, like, why have you let this story, the Hunter Biden laptop story, that, like, it came out later, like the White.
They can definitely push narratives and time and.
Mark Zuckerberg admitted, like, on Joe Rogan's podcast, like, oh no, yeah, they told us about upcoming Russian disinformation, and it would have something to do with, the Bidens. And
well, I like how that it wasn't until the day after elections that Amazon announces all their layoffs, and it's just like, you just come on.
Yep, and it's. I tell you what, I think everybody is feeling it on every angle, and
I know my wallet is.
Oh God, dude, living's expensive, and here's the thing. I'm going to say the really unpopular opinion. I don't think it's Joe Biden's fault. I think if any, like, he might be hitting the gas a little bit harder than Trump did. But as far as spending goes, just pure spending. But this is a train that's just headed financially towards the end of the line. And it might be better. It's going to be harder. It might be better for people to notice their own way and try to get off of it. Try to get off the train, which, secession, fingers crossed. Come on, DeSantis, get so fed up with Trump and the federal government, you just do like Bugs Bunny in The GIF, and you just saw Florida off the rest of America.
Oh, I like the sound of that. Free state of Florida, or free country of Florida, or just Florida.
I saw a meme once, and it was, the Florida Empire 2, Electric Boogaloo. And it was like, or the Gulf Empire 2, Electric Boogaloo. And it was just Florida should be its own country, but where the panhandle of Florida is, it just keeps wrapping around the Caribbean and taking out chunks of Alabama and Mississippi and Texas and Mexico and Guatemala. And it renames the capitals of these districts like Jimmy Buffettville and...
The Gulf of Florida.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm down for that.
I like it.
I'm just kidding. I don't want to invade anybody else. Just want to be left alone.
Where's Andrew Jackson when we need him?
Yeah. Not for some things, but
Not
definitely.
the negative aspects, just the invasion.
Definitely.
Little Florida invasion.
His little Florida adventure he was having.
Yeah.
So that was one thing. The other was Elon tweeted out how freedom of speech doesn't mean you have freedom of reach. And those that are participating, I'm kind of air quoting here, kind of folks, in hate speech, unquote, like will be like throttled and limited and stuff like that. It's like, all right, who decides what's hate speech? That's a little fishy.
Well, I know my views would be different from most people's. Because I'm just like, gloves off, everybody.
I'm like, if you're supporting eating raw vegetables, that's hate speech. I hate what you're saying. But I digress. Now, in light of the bad stuff, I mean, if I had to put it on a scale of the bad versus the good, I believe the good outweighs the bad. One, the $8 verification that made the Bandit Radio Hour bona fide.
He's official.
He is. And
well, you saw that too, that it was like 2 days after he did that, and there was all the problems with people getting their stuff, that he like removed that option where you couldn't go get verified anymore. I was like, we made the cut.
Oh, we
but
did.
I think they're going to bring it back, but no, we were like so we got in.
We slipped into the beta.
Yeah.
It's been nice. I don't think we've hardly seen any growth because of it, but I don't care. I got this important symbol next to my name. People care about.
When you trash talk, it looks important.
I did not have a Twitter 6 months ago. But, and so what? He unbanned people, the $8. Oh, hey, the one big thing, he got rid of all the people that were like much more aggressively suppressing information, willingly suppressing information, willingly guiding algorithms away from just, not even one side or the other, just any questioning of the establishment.
Well, I've noticed that I'm no longer seeing like the same 10 people that I didn't even follow.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even follow them, and I was seeing their like stuff pop up all the time.
And you're not seeing your mutuals like it. You're not seeing it's just randomly popping up.
Like if anybody, I don't advertise my Twitter, but if you see it, I literally follow like 33 people.
Yeah.
I don't care about most of the rest of the world. I was like genuinely pissed off. I was like, I only want to see those 33 people for a reason.
That's it. One of them is Aviator Times.
Yeah.
Not the flying, just sunglasses. He's really into them.
That annoys me because I am a pilot. I can't wear Ray-Bans because they make me look like I have Down syndrome. I think it's the way they sit on my nose.
You sure it's the Ray-Bans?
Well, that's what I'm telling myself. But I've like tried them on so many times. I actually tried them on like a month ago in the Bass Pro, and they had like a whole bunch of them, like Oakley's version, similar. I was like, maybe these. I looked in the mirror. I was like, no. Yep. They give me such a punchable face.
Yep. No, you got the face for like you need like the sharp looking Oakley.
Yeah. No, I think it's they hang them down on my cheeks and make my face look weird.
There is sunglasses just don't look good on me, so I just got to go for comfort and not how they look. So every time I put them on and look in the mirror, I go, "You goofy bastard." Although, as you with the Downs, it might just be my face. I'm handsome if you see me move, but in a picture, it's god awful.
There's a reason we're recording, right?
Yeah, face for radio and a voice. But hey, guys, that's going to do it on the Twitter Live. Get the rest of this episode and a bonus episode for follow us at Bandit Radio Hour on YouTube, right here on Twitter, Instagram, all those jazzy places. And catch you next time. And we're gonna dip our toes back into the Twitterverse one more time because there's been a real fascinating development since Elon Musk got it. And I'd say this is definitely one of the better things is over the past 2 weeks, when I've gotten done with work and just scrolled through my feed, I watched World War III almost start. For those of you that are completely out of the loop, which is fine. I don't blame you. Probably have better things to do. A missile was dropped in Poland, of all places. When news first...
It's always Poland.
It's always Poland. I saw a guy ask that very question, why is it always Poland? And a Polish guy answered back and said, we're in between Germany and Russia. Go figure. Like, we're on the way to everything. So a missile dropped in Poland, and the first reports I read was that it's Russian. And I immediately went I had the same reaction as I did when I first heard that the leader of Syria was gassing his own people. Assad, the based Blake Shelton listener, avid fan, enjoyer. But had the same reaction of why would you do this intentionally to piss off everybody in the world? You're inviting the wrath of multiple governments to dethrone you.
Mine was just more, oh shit.
Here we go.
Yeah, it wasn't even I wasn't even concerned about who did it. It was oh, that's it. That's the world's a tinderbox at the moment. It's just, there's the match.
Yep, there's the Archduke Ferdinand, which we're all there's so many Archduke Ferdinands recently. So that's how news broke. However, it was so neat to see the comment section on Twitter for the first time. Normally I'd say there was a good competitiveness, I don't know about good competitiveness, between kind of the pro-Ukraine, let me rephrase that, the blindly pro-Ukraine and the people that question this stuff. Pro-Russian, not pro-nothing, whatever, that always seemed 50-50. When this report broke, I immediately saw it on Twitter. It seemed like the ratios for people questioning this stuff was through the roof of people going, nah, this smells like bullshit.
Well, I saw immediately people started pounding the drums oh, right, we must retire. But then I saw people actually coming back. It's no, you know that's World War III, right? Like
Yeah.
it's no, let's not.
I believe it was Jack Prosobovic, Placebo. I don't know how to say his last name. He's Polish, and he's Polish American. He's a pretty big right winger on Twitter, and he's one of these guys. I'd kind of group him into the same group as like a Ben Shapiro or a Jordan Peterson. That like, man, they hit the nail on the head like 75% of the time.
Other times they just lose the hammer.
The 25% where they miss it, though, like they miss it so hard, I'm like, how can you not see your other philosophies that you're very good at articulating? Like I'll give you a golden example of this with the missile story. Jack Prosobovic said, "What'd he say, Merce? This must be returned with blood immediately," or something like that. He's Polish, so he's like, "Oh, Russia, like we must return."
Saddle the horses.
Yeah, and this is the guy all previously is like question the official narrative, like they're trying to get us into wars, da 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 da. But as soon as a missile is dropped on the country you care about, you're the first one to be like, we just got to blindly attack back.
If nothing else, I just want to give like Poland a little high five. Like, thank you for not just blindly retaliating.
Yeah, dude, I remember hearing it on the news while like on one of the drives of working cattle. Like Polish defense ministries are meeting and convening on like what?
It was like jets are being scrambled. I was like, oh no.
They're taught like they are meeting. They are putting on the notification. They are meeting to talk about the NATO alliance treaty. Like I don't know if that's a technical name for it, but a whole bunch of I was like, oof.
I've never been scared of entangling alliances more.
It really might not matter if I work these cows or not. But anyways, and then I was like, I think it was later into that night before I go to sleep, I'm noticing on Twitter just people going like, hey, you know, Poland shares a border with Russia and Ukraine, pretty sure. And where this missile dropped is so much closer to the Ukrainian border than the Russian.
Pictures.
Yeah, and like more footage started trickling out that there wasn't a pressure to suppress. And lo and behold, oopsie, our bad. This was actually a Ukrainian missile that was trying part of a missile defense system to shoot Russian missiles out of the sky.
Yeah, and it went. I'm guessing went way out of the way, supposedly, or I don't know.
Which, like, I could believe that official story that like it was a misfire into another country, but man, were they quick to jump on.
Yeah, like they went from beating the war drum to let's go Armageddon to
oopsie daisy, our bad. We'll just clean that
and
up real quick, and there's no
like
big
nothing
deal.
Happened.
Yep. While we just sent another aid package to, wasn't it just approved? Another
$37 billion right on the heels of it.
Yeah. And the FTX scandal, which I think if we got time.
The stock market was doing so bad, and I remember I'm a Lucid shareholder, and they were doing like a massive live event. They'd been hyping it up like the whole time. They were going to announce like their new SUV. Everything's like, so I'm waiting on the stock price to go.
Pause. He's been talking about Lucid for a year and a half, people. So continue.
If it does well, like. I won't tell y'all I'm rich, but there's going to be signs. Anyways.
When we have a new mobile jet studio.
Yeah. So, anyways, they're supposed to have this massive live event at 1 p.m. The stock's finally starting to do good. I'm like, finally, at 1:35, the missile hits Poland, and the whole stock market tanks.
See, dude, I think there is a God, and he loves somehow he screws with us all on an individual and collective level.
I was driving down the highway screaming at the steering wheel because I've been watching the live event like for the shareholders, and I just clicked the market to see what the stock price, and everything's crashing, and I don't know why. And I went to Twitter and I'm just seeing the news unfold, and I'm like, oh, cool. So at this point, I'm just like hoping just to see the big flash.
Well, thank God it was avoided. Poland came to its senses. But, you know, Merce asked an intriguing question during our break. Why do the Polish get such a bad rap? I mean...
Yeah, truthfully, like, and this sounds, I guess ignorant would be the best word. Like, I don't, like, if I saw, I don't, you know, like, I don't know what, you know, but Italian, I would, yeah, they're Italian. I wouldn't be like, oh, they're Polish. I have no clue what, German lederhosen. Like, I get it. Like,
Bratwurst, yada yada.
yeah, unless you're walking down the street with a Polish flag, I have no idea.
No, true. Just us, just European. But no, so this is a custom bandit conspiracy theory. So I think where a lot of our racist jokes come from now, from when we were growing up, was actually from a lot of it from the early 1900s when there was a lot of immigration. There was a lot of you being exposed to other people for the first
I
time.
just picture one guy in a dark room just cracking on everybody.
just
writing them down.
Yep, I'm gonna list everything about everybody. But you also got the progressive era, which is government solution to we're gonna legislate our way into a heaven on earth, practically. And that's where you start getting stuff like sterilization, eugenics, medical experiments, all this nasty stuff from the early 1900s, including financial systems like the Federal Reserve.
I swear we're just going through that whole thing again.
Yep.
100 years later.
But anyways, something so I'm no Polish government expert, but the little bit I do know about them, they had this really unique system of in European countries they had monarchies, kings and queens. Well, that ruled everything and had the final word. Well, in Poland it was set up a little different, where it's they had checks on the king through lords, and they had checks on the lords through turfs, or not turfs, but peasants or something like that. And it was a much more constrained governmental
Bishops
system.
can only go diagonally.
Yeah, pretty much. And, the horse can go up and over too. But, and this is my custom theory, I think jokes about them being stupid kind of came from that era of these stupid people don't even realize the government can fix all these problems if we just write it on paper and sell it, make people obey it. That's my little custom conspiracy theory. Maybe they didn't deserve it. However, everything about the Irish, they deserved.
Yeah, I've heard some racist Polish jokes, and I'm like, I don't really get it.
Yeah,
I get what you're striving at here, but I don't follow it.
The Polish submarine installed a screen door.
Yeah, it's they're blonde jokes.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, I don't get it.
And blonde, really, I have a problem with blonde jokes. It shouldn't be.
Yeah, most of them aren't real blondes anymore, anyways.
I mean, they're all women. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just that women jokes. That's my problem. We call them blonde jokes. I like women jokes.
Yeah.
I like putting anybody down. It's fun. So, hang on. How the hell did we get on that trail? Oh, yeah. That's Twitter in Ukraine, Poland.
It's always Poland.
And, what? Immerse, I think you need to kind of break down what exactly the hell happened with the FTX.
Nobody still has fully grasped it, because as it literally unfolds, it just gets weirder.
I saw...
Like orgy penthouse weirder.
All right, so
we might have to check if, especially if we're skipping to the next episode, because there was supposed to be a sex tape revealed of them all doing it in the orgy. I think yesterday or today.
Glorious. Glorious.
No, there are some rough looking.
I know. I've
individuals.
seen pictures of the men and the women clothed just
That should have
regular.
been like a red flag.
Yeah. But you know what, guys? We're going to save that for the special bonus episode. We're kind of long-winded on this one. But please check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twatter, What's the Matter, all that lovely stuff at the Bandit Radio Hour. Merce, you got anything to sign off this episode with?
Poland. I don't. It's.
Polish.
I'm trying to get the jokes, and I just can't.
Nope. They're odd people, though. Anyways, until next.
I don't even know. I don't even think I know a Pole.
Nope, and we live in Florida where there's a lot of different cultures we run in. For a small town, there's a lot of different cultures we run into.
Maybe our town was so racist we didn't let them.
Town of hate. All right, guys, until next time, check out Bandit Radio Hour. See ya. Everybody, stop what you're doing. We messed up a little bit. There was one more important thing that happened.
Don't lump me into this.
Team effort, producer. There was something that happened during our break that I meant to touch on, and I didn't even touch it with a 50-foot pole. That was the election. Yeah, we had one of those participation trophy things that decides who
Take
rules
1
us.
week off.
Yeah. Dude, I have not seen so many people that question government and stuff like that. Like I saw conservatives that were like, there should be a federal holiday for voting so more people can make it to the polls, and like the government should kind of almost force everyone to vote.
Back to the polls.
Dude, damn Polish. But I'm like, oh, like, no, I'll be quite frank. I didn't vote. I was working cows. I had more important stuff to do. But
I voted, so we batted 500.
could we have worked around a day of not working cows? I mean, like, technically, but like,
I mean, you had early voting for a whole.
I'm a procrastinator. Deadlines. No, I didn't do it, but I am going to give you all my thoughts on it, going against the popular phrase, if you don't vote, you don't get to decide. Kiss my ass. It's people ruling me. I'm going to give you my thoughts about it. So, we have some races that are still going on. What? We're a week and a half after it, Merce?
Yeah.
Yep.
I kind of feel like they just keep counting votes so they get the outcome they want.
And you know, I mean, I am not completely sold on how much the elections are being rigged. But what I will say is what Curtis Yarvin, I'm echoing him, if the Democrats, giant if, Mr. Algorithm that's sorting these shows specifically,
We've already just ruined every one of those.
we have. If the Democrats cheated, they cheated fair and square. Like, we all have this, like, real elementary view of how this stuff is run, of like, well, there's an official ballot counter, and they are the most truthful and honest person ever, and they count the ballots, and each one of these and each one of the voting districts is just the best, most pure person ever that counts all these. And you know, if you're a conservative, you're saying like, well, there might be some that cheat in the direction of the Democrats. If you're a Democrat, you say some stupid crap like, well, they're trying to limit mail-in voting to discriminate against a certain group of people or whatever. But it's like, to trust so much power to so many unchecked systems.
I look at it as you got to figure government's corrupt. There's people in there that are corrupt, and they've done some terrible things. They will do anything to not be found out because they will serve life in prison.
Yeah. And like, I mean, I always look at it like this. I don't know. I've probably said it on the podcast before, but like, I love studying history because I love like studying crazy shit humans with power do. And it's like the more power they got, the crazier things seem to get. I mean, one of the best examples is Rome, just how nuts they go with the power. And it's like, man, if they would do that crazy amount of stuff, just read anything about Rome, for that power, there's like, just with the government corporate structure, in the big leagues at least, it's like that concentrated times 1,000,000. What would people do for that power? And of course, that's when the real crazy conspiracies start going. But just keeping it base, like, that's why when I see politicians that are like embezzling money and no one's, by God, they ought to arrest Nancy Pelosi for insider trading. It's like, agreed, they should. They never will. Because that's not how this goes. No, name me a politician that has been arrested. Even listeners at home.
We're not pausing for effect, I'm thinking.
Yeah, and it never happens. If it does, it's some very small time, like a small local person getting called embezzling something. But yeah, and when they get sentenced, it's the biggest slap on the wrist ever. That's how power works. So like all this frou-frou voting one way or the other, like, I'm not saying this happens, but it seriously would not surprise me if they took all of our votes to a giant incinerator and lit them on fire and just said who won what. Not saying they do that. It just, for this much power, none of that would surprise me. And I haven't seen enough evidence to really convince me they do something like that. I've seen squirrely stuff like the 1,000 Mules. I've watched. I didn't, but you know what I'm talking about, the 1,000 Mules documentary. Like,
I did see some stuff, like sketchy stuff out of Maricopa County, and that was even before they were counted. Like, the machines are down, you got to fill out ballots. Oh, but we don't have enough paper ballots.
Yeah.
There is some screwy stuff. I don't know.
Beyond a shadow of a doubt, there is screwy stuff. It's to what degree, I think, and what this per se the screwy stuff is. Like, dude, I'll tell you what I think, and I'm echoing Dave Smith a little bit here, but like, what is much more obvious than even changing votes is getting the media to say what you want. Like how the White House and Congress were, like I said earlier, pressuring like the social media platforms and different press agencies to report certain things. Like, that is much more obviously they are pushing this narrative to win us, to get people to vote a certain way to win an election. Like, and it's like it's blatantly, but even the best politicians that you might favor, not just Merce, just anyone listening, they might call them out on this on Twitter, which is cool. I mean, they're bringing attention to it, but it's like nothing's ever done. J. Edgar Hoover was catching queers in the 60s with the McCarthy stuff, and well, not specifically McCarthy, but with eavesdropping on people's private conversations so he could have power over them. And like, nothing ever happened to that person. However, in light of all that, this is some pretty fun shit to watch. Like, dude, first of all, John Fetterman won. Even if it's
Eagles,
oh, dude. Whoosh.
I really hadn't paid much attention to the guy other than some stuff. I was like, yeah. Whoa.
The guy from the Munsters has more charisma. Like,
it makes my head hurt.
yeah, and so we got this guy who is, I've listened to I haven't gone in depth into it, not going to lie to anybody, but the little bit of speeches I have seen clips from, it's like, dude, I flub up on what I'm saying. I'll at least tell you what I believe at a certain time.
But what I saw an article that he's not going to be allowed, he can't answer questions, and he's going to have special, like, accommodations because he can't. And I'm like, but he's a senator and can't make logic. My head hurts.
You know who I want to see have a debate? I mean, it won't happen because of where they're at. I want to see him versus Herschel Walker. Them dogs is hell, ain't they? Or don't they? Walker. Yeah. Dude, because...
Which Herschel? Them dogs is hell.
Dude, it's... When I see him as I walk by Fox News in my household, like, he keeps it together pretty decently on TV, sitting next to Ted Cruz, who's doing, like, most of the talking for him. But I'm like... There's two giant elephants in the room on both sides of just how bonkers this is getting. You know, as a kid, hang on, I have to pause for effect just so everyone else can appreciate this. I have to ask Google something. Which Roman elected a horse as senator?
Caligula. According to Museum Hack, records say Caligula wanted to appoint his equestrian bud to the Senate, but he was assassinated before he could make it happen.
Aw, I didn't know about the last part about him getting assassinated, but
I bet the horse had a long face.
of course, it was a politician. No, so like, yeah, supposedly the Senate was like such a joke in Rome when Rome had all this power. He was like, I'm nominating a horse to take your seat. Because this is like a public theater. Like, this is just a freaking stupid play y'all are doing. Guys, between John Fetterman and John Herschel Walker, get them dogs as hell, don't they? Walker. I know I messed it up again, damn it. I was good the last episode. But this is getting wily. This is...
The Senate's going to lose some IQ points.
Yes. Absolutely. Now what? For governor, still Homeboy won. That was the Republican, the incumbent.
Kemp?
Yeah, Kemp. But what's her name lost, which is like...
For the third time.
Yeah. Ugh.
She's not an intelligent person.
No.
Like, it's scary. I've seen some of her speeches and thoughts, and I'm like, that's not right. Like, even like political aside, just like the facts. It's like, just what you're saying is not even true.
Well, guys, get ready for this. It's going to get dumber. And I mean, even after Fetterman and after all the, like, these people are going to keep getting dumber.
I didn't want it to be true. The idiocracy theory is 100%.
They nail it out of the park, man. I mean, they are. And here's the thing, like,
President Camacho.
you know, God, what a great. What's that actor's name? Terry
Owens?
Clark?
Is it Terry?
Terry, it's one of the two. Probably Terrence Owens, something like that. He's such a great actor. But yeah, President Camacho's the man. But you know, they kind of have it pegged in Idiocracy as like it's going to be dumb trailer park rednecks of all cultures that bring the whole of society down. I don't think so. Because at least those dumb rednecks of all cultures, like I'm talking about Jamaicans, Mexicans, like poor Yugoslavians, they all know how to somewhat make shit. Like sure, on the intellectual side, they might be slightly off, including white trash rednecks homegrown here, but like they can survive better than this elitist class that just keeps getting the most pampered in such different ways. They can't even hold sentences together. And they're president of the United States. People, it's going to get dumber.
I'm picturing like 200 years ago, like Spain, where they were all just inbreeding so bad that they were literally getting like the Habsburg jaw and stuff. They're just.
Well, like, dude, even take, I think something with that inbreeding, like, take even the genetics out of it. I think if you just have like inside, like, secluded culture that never changes.
Or has to be challenged or adapt.
Like it just kind of like genetics with inbreeding does. Like it's just a different version of that collapses on itself because there's no diversity actually getting in there to challenge it.
John Fetterman's The Final Evolution. Something
like that. But, yeah, the only other thing, Carrie Lake's having some trouble in Arizona. They ever decide that one way or the other?
I think they said she's lost. I think she was winning, and then like it just kept going and going and going, and the Democrat shot ahead, and I don't know.
And now
everybody's complaining about. It's gotten so wild anymore. I don't even follow it. I'm just like it's going to be whatever they want it to be.
Yep.
That's as sad as that is.
It's just football, but it's more personal. Ooh, all right. One last side note. I had a friend in 5th grade who I didn't believe him at the time, and I still really don't, but it's a fun little conspiracy I forgot about. He believed that all football games, not all of them, but most of the NFL games are rigged. He goes like there's too much money in it for it to be chance.
I can say that about some college football games I've watched. If Alabama's playing, they're going to make sure Alabama wins.
Never seen so many damn flags on the Gator in my whole life. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it. Stay tuned for a bonus episode.
Are you sure this is the end this time?
This is the end this time, damn it. I'm tired. Y'all have a good night, day, whatever it is.